Alright, y'all. So, Drake did it again. I can't lie, you can't lie, we can't lie. Drake is that nigga. Now, I've tried to stay impartial within this beef, and I'm gonna continue to do so. But if you're trying to tell me that this diss ain't hard, you're simply a Drake denier or a Kendrick fan. But basically, in that video, I just gave a rundown on how the current beef started and what Kendrick's original diss consisted of. I broke down Kendrick's verse on Future and Metro's song Like That, which is what revived this beef. Or according to the track, it's not. It all took place on Metro and Future's album titled We Don't Trust You, obviously aimed at Drake, and since the last video they doubled down with another one called We Still Don't Trust You. But anyway, in that video I remain as impartial as humanly possible, considering the fact that I'm not a Kendrick fan. And when I say that, I'm not calling him trash, far from it. I respect his ability, I just don't find myself tuning into it. Now, I don't really listen to Drake as much as I used to anyway, but if you had to ask me who I've listened to more over the years, I would say Drake. And so I did my part in hyping up Kendrick because there's no denying his verse was hard. I haven't even interacted with a single person who thinks otherwise who isn't a Drake fan or a Kendrick denier, like I said earlier. And since I remain impartial, it's only fair that I keep it up and go over Drake's diss, that quote-unquote leak. Alright, now off rip, probably the most stinging diss on the track is the name. Push Up or Drop and Give Me 50. Essentially, Kendrick pulled a thugger and signed the most fucked up deal in the world for a platform. Whatever he makes, he has to give like 50% away to his management team or his label or something like that. Now that's a bit crazy or tough or both. And so Drake uses it as a double entendre when he says drop and give me 50. Obviously because of the 50% split, and while saying drop and give me 50 is most commonly used for telling a nigga to drop and give you 50 push-ups. Now forgive me if I skim because a lot of these are just responses to lyrics in other diss songs.
I could never be nobody #1 fan. Your first #1, I had to put it in your hand.
I Could Never Be Nobody #1 fan is a response to Future saying you a nigga #1 fan, dog, on a song and the first album.
You a nigga #1 fan, dog. Sneak this and I don't understand, dog.
Now Drake continues by saying your first #1, I had to put it in your hand. You'll notice a pattern because I feel like he kind of mentions that a little bit in the diss. And basically he's whipping his dick out.
No Diddy, you know?
And sunning all of these niggas. Because a majority, if not all of these niggas he mentions on the song, Future, Metro, Rick Ross, The Weeknd, a lot of them have #1s because of Drake.
This Melly Mel if I had to, got 2 T's with me. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos.
So Kendrick says he's snatching chains and burning tattoos, but Drake refutes that saying this.
You won't never take no chain off of us. How the fuck you big stepping with a size 7 man's on?
So I don't see this as much of a burn. Everybody knows Kendrick is short, especially Kendrick, but it's still just Drake little boying him to an extent. But now here's where it really starts.
Extortion, baby, whole career, you been shook up. Cause top told you drop and give me 50 like some push-ups.
Like I mentioned before, the 50% split. And then he doubles down.
Pull your contract, cause we gotta see the split. The way you doing splits, bitch, your pants might rip.
Drake mentions Kendrick doing a song with Taylor Swift back in the day, you know, baby, now we got bad blood. Now here Drake says,
Pip squeak, pipe down, you ain't in no big three. SZA got you wiped down, Travis got you wiped down, Savage got you wiped down.
Savage got you wiped down. Now if he's talking in terms of current relevance, then I mean, yeah, they're all having their own big moments in the music industry right now. But if we're talking overall ability, I don't even think Drake believes that. Actually, SZA can sing, I ain't gonna lie, bro. SZA can sing her ass off. SZA did have a funny reaction on Instagram though.
So now why am I in it? And you could have did it.
See how I get wrong
because you never apologized.
After that, there's more, you know, Drake talk. I'm at the top of the mountains, I had to hike down. But love him or hate him, Drake is the top dog. That's an irrefutable fact. He questions the Legion of Doom being formed against him, which when you listen to Kendrick's verse on Like That, it becomes kind of ironic, him saying niggas clicking up but cannot be legit. You'll see the memes on the internet how Drake is Thanos and Metro really formed the Avengers to team up on him. But now here's where my favorite diss comes.
Get more love in the city that you from, nigga. Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums, nigga.
There's 2 good things about this line to me. One, the simplicity. Like, disregarding the long-standing static between them, Kendrick only had 1 verse on 1 song out of 2 albums, both seemingly created out of spite for Drake. Yet majority of the track is about him. Even the name is about Kendrick. Now, Metro went out of his way to make 2 whole albums, and all Drake gives him is a nigga shut up and do your job. And the painful fact is, Metro really has no choice but to either tweet or make some beats. Unless he wants to get in his Pure Born bag and start rapping. But if he doesn't, he has to shut his whole ass up and make some drums, nigga. I feel like that was clever, but maybe not. Then he drops lines about The Weeknd. I really couldn't find anything on why their beef started. However, I did find this clip of The Weeknd shouting him out.
Without this man, Drizzy motherfucking Drake, there'd be no motherfucking Weeknd, there'd be no EXO. So please, make some fucking noise for my mentor, my brother, and my friend.
So whatever happened between them had to be like over serious for it to be this bad. Now forget about the Fortnite skin. He's irrelevant in this beef, I ain't gonna lie. He was in Fortnite for way too long. Forget about The Weeknd, we're back onto Kendrick. Now Drake gets personal here.
Hugs and kisses, man, don't tell me about no switches. I be rocking every fucking chain I own next visit, ayy. I be with some bodyguards like Whitney. Top say, drop your little midget ass, better fucking.
Unlike that, Kendrick says something along the lines of, y'all better come with 3 switches. So Drake says, forget all that gun talk, let's talk about bodyguards and Whitney. For those of you that don't know, Whitney is Kendrick Lamar's wife. Now, Whitney Houston, probably the greatest female voice of all time, was in a movie called The Bodyguard in the early 90s. And Kendrick's wife, Whitney, allegedly had an affair with his bodyguard. So now he's gone into uncharted territory. And whole time there's a whole separate verse. This one's a little more tame though. I feel like the first one was more of an attention grabber, but he starts off dissing Rick Ross.
I might take your latest girl and cuff her like I'm Ricky. Can't believe he jumping in, this nigga turning 50. Every song that made it on a chart he got from Drizzy.
And the sad reality is, if you do the research, you'll see that all of Ross's top 10 tracks have Drake on them. And then he throws his age in there because for some reason, age is so important to the youth. Now the next one is funny. I briefly mentioned John Morant in the last video, but that was because I didn't really understand his involvement in all of this. And Drake doesn't help at all.
Shout out to the hooper that be busting out the gritty. We know why you mad, nigga, I ain't even tripping.
Now y'all know Ja is a very performative basketball player. He had all his gun stunts and his parade inside my city and all that dancing shit. So this beef is over women. Now my brother always tells me, after God, fear women. You see it in real time and even in fiction, but a lot of problems and arguments start over, I think it's over 2 females, Johanna Leigh and Brooklyn Nicole, Lotto's younger sister. Apparently both Drake and Ja have been involved with both of these women, but I'm not sure who had who first. Moving on, the rest is really just Drake flexing on rich niggas. You gotta be balling to flex on rich niggas. He mentions how Like That didn't start the beef and that it's been brewing behind the scenes.
In that fucking song y'all got to not start the beef with us. This shit been brewing in a pot now, heating up.
Obviously him and J. Cole were on teams at first, but Cole is on the new album and obviously he apologized and said Kendrick's verse was hard. So Drake refutes that and says it was weak as fuck.
I don't care what Cole think, that dot shit was weak as fuck.
All in all, I really think Drake tore into these niggas. But you know, opinions will be opinions, agendas will be agendas, and narratives will be narratives. So unless something crazy comes out, I doubt there will be a clear-cut, universally accepted winner. Like, niggas still believe Drake won the Pusha T beef? Like, originally, I didn't even know Drake dropped the response. That's how bad it got. But Duppy was good, though. But the way I see it, it's either 1 up or Drake took round 1. My opinion don't matter though, I'm just a nigga on the internet. Now let me know in the comments who y'all think won round 1 and what you think might happen moving forward. Also, Rick Ross already dropped the response. But besides that, damn, ow.